You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
And now joining us to talk about what is going on also there on the scene where the governor is. There are 200 groups that are protesting, and they are shouting Biden baby killer, Blinken baby killer, Kamala killer. And they have just started marching in the last hour. They're given about a mile route to be able to march. And people are wondering who's sponsoring these groups.
Who's paying for them?
Who's paying for them? Well, joining us now is Professor Alan Dershowitz. Professor Dershowitz, first of all, your reaction to all of these groups who it seems like many people in the Democratic Party have sort of given a green light to.
Yeah, not only a green light, but if you look at what the lineup is for tonight, it's a virulently anti-Israel lineup tonight. Look who's speaking. Representative Clyburn, who walked out on Netanyahu. He didn't hear him speak. AOC, who's anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, anti-American. She's on the speaking lineup. Congressman Crockett, who hasn't had too many good things to say about Israel. Senator Warnock, who's had major problems with the Jewish community over the years. Jamie Raskin, my former student, who's certainly Jewish and Zionist, but very, very, very critical of Israel. Who is speaking on behalf of the vast majority of American people who support Israel? So I'm more worried about what's going on in the convention than what's going on outside. Now, they're going to say, well, AOC is probably not going to talk about Israel. That doesn't matter. Giving her a speaking session is like giving the Ku Klux Klan a place to speak at a convention. It boosts her credibility. It gives her visibility. Even if she doesn't talk about Israel tonight, she will be talking about Israel and against Israel repeatedly. So I think this convention, inside and outside, is becoming an anti-Israel convention.
Alan, this is Pete King. I heard the mayor of Chicago this morning saying that his main job is to protect the protesters, and then almost secondarily, and to keep the peace. I mean, since when is it the main obligation to protect Hamas? Would he be saying the same thing if it was the Nazi Party or the Ku Klux Klan? There's such a double standard here. It's ridiculous.
Well, and look at who the demonstrators are. If you go and you see when they flash past them, you see communist hammer and sickles. You see We Hate America signs. This is not just anti-Israel provides the current excuse for the radicals, the anarchists, the anti-American people to gather. They do it all the time. The Vietnam War was the excuse back in the 1960s. Now it's Israel. It has nothing to do with the Palestinians. Most of these people don't have any idea who the Palestinians are. They have no idea who Hamas is. They just hate America, and they hate Israel because Israel is allied with America. And, you can't control demonstrators. They have a First Amendment right, of course, but you can control who's speaking from your podium. And the Democrats have made a terrible mistake with tonight's speaker lineup. Again, Clyburn, AOC, they walk out on Netanyahu, Crockett, Warnock, Raskin. Not a single real pro-Israel speaker tonight. And anybody who has spoken about Israel has generally been very, very critical of Israel. So I'm more concerned with what goes on inside than what goes on outside.
Yeah, Professor Dershowitz, Judge Weinberg has a question.
Alan, I just want to point out two things to you and get your thoughts. Number one, you have a situation where the kids from Ramaz, which is an Orthodox yeshiva.
Explain it. It's a school in New York.
It's a school in New York. It's a very famous, very well-respected school.
Very famous school that wouldn't allow me to speak at it. They boycotted me and canceled me along with the 90 Seconds Free Why. But it's a great school.
But you know what they're doing in New York? Those kids, maybe they're taking a second look at where they stand, are not going to Columbia. They're boycotting Columbia University.
That's a mistake.
Right.
They should go to the best universities they can go to and fight back.
Of course.
And they're affecting change. Look, the president of Columbia resigned, the president of Harvard resigned, the president of so many other schools resigned. They're having an impact. So don't take your kids away from the best Ivy League schools. All right, if they're not going to Columbia, fine, send them to Harvard. I have no problem with that.
That becomes self-segregation, Alan.
I know. It's a terrible thing. They shouldn't do that.
Okay.
And, if Ramaz had allowed me to speak, I would have told him the truth about how to deal with this. But the principal of Ramaz, just is a coward and wouldn't allow me to speak because he was afraid I'd be, I wouldn't toe the exact line.
Okay. One more issue, Alan. There's a United States District Court judge just issued an injunction against UCLA because of the intimidation of the Jewish students there. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely correct. I mean, what they did was violate the law. They violated various aspects of the law, both criminal and civil, and the judge did the right thing. And it'll be appealed, but the appeal will not prevail. And so I hope that Jewish students will be treated like first-class students and be able to attend classes. And if they don't, we're going to fight back, and we're going to get college and university administrators fired. We're not going to sit back and just take it. We're going to fight back, and you're going to have to pay a price. And so, be wise. Woke makes you go broke, and that's true of universities as well as businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. And they seem to be getting it from all different directions, which you're right. At least it's a wake-up call. Professor Dershowitz, we love you. Really great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you so much.